Welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have we have a very savvy veteran, Adam Atkinson. We have the awesome and we have the lovely Astrid Naranjo. We have the awesome Dustin Rhodes with us. We have the awesome and we have the lovely Eden Bobu. We have the awesome Hannah Dawson in the house. We have an awesome guest with us, and that is Peter Fitzgerald. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome, we have a very savvy veteran, Adam Atkinson. How you doing today?
Doing good. Great to be here with you guys.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a pleasure to have you. And I know we had like a little bit of like technical difficulties. You had your power out yesterday, but I'm really glad you were able to make it here. And I know you're going to deliver tons of just value, wisdom, because you've been in this game for a long time. So let's jump into it, Adam. So my first question is, what's it called? Like, what has been your go-to marketing strategy to just get so many clients and help serve them?
I do think that Instagram has been super helpful. And to be honest, it's not so much me posting as much as it is my clients posting about being happy. And it's not anything I'm asking them to do. They're just normal paying customers like anyone else. So I think it really does come down to, are people satisfied with your service? Laying out expectations. Here's what to expect working with me. And I think if you give people, what they can expect, they know that everyone's kind of being treated a certain way, and that no one's getting special treatment, and everyone is kind of on the same page. And I think, having everyone on the same page is really important. One thing I've done for more retention is actually a team Zoom call once a week. And
nice.
That just really helped me engage more with my clients. It's gotten to give me an hour once a week to know each and every one of them just a little bit deeper than an email. Some people are shy to ask for phone calls, so that just kind of opens the door. Sometimes people just sit in there and listen. It's funny, I have some people, but after a while I'll ask them like, hey, I know so-and-so has a question, and try to get them to talk a little bit. But that's been super helpful. As much as we know about nutrition science alone, there's the psychological aspect that really needs to be fine-tuned with it. And, just not every research article on nutrition is going to be practical for each person. So knowing the psychology of the person helps you nail that practical application for them.
Yeah. And I want to circle back to this Zoom call you're doing, because that's really cool and it's super smart. So it's funny because this past week I did this Facebook Live video, and I'm just doing like a little like kind of coaches tips for all the fitness professionals out there. And one of my tips was don't ever favor clients, right? And it's kind of what you said, don't give them special attention. So I want you to kind of hit on that a little bit. Like, why is that something people shouldn't do, like up and coming coaches?
Well, great example. I actually lost one of my pros who I thought would be by my side, thick and thin, and I never made her a centerpiece of my business, because what would I have after that? And I see that, these coaches get these pros and these Olympians, and it's no longer their business anymore. It's ex competitor. That's what they're known for. They're known for one person. My revenue isn't made off one person, and my hard work is not generated off one person. So it's really important that my foundation is my team. It is all of my clients, from lifestyle, who never even posts on Instagram, to the person that's blasting my name on Instagram. And, I think people are always surprised, hey, he doesn't post about his pros all the time. I also want my environment to be something that's attractive to everyone. So I think that's what's really cool about my team is you'll see a lot of the bigger coaches do just bow out and do just contest prep. I have so many people who are great competitors that started as lifestyle clients, and that's one of the reasons I can't really let it go.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. See, that's so awesome. That's such a great learning lesson for anybody that's a fitness professional, listening to this, like from a savvy veteran like yourself. So I know you mentioned that one of your retention, tactics was to do the once a week Zoom call. So what else do you do kind of just to give your clients that world-class experience to where it can't be replicated by anybody else? That's why they come to Adam Atkinson and why they pay, stay, and refer.
That's always an evolution, that's things I'm still currently thinking about now. I want to keep every damn one of my people if I can, and usually you find out when it's too late, it's some kind of communication breach. I thought about doing some mini Zoom calls every day just so, maybe I can limit call times because people know I'll be available between this time. And it's just a free, open conversation. And what I like is a lot of our conversations are what I may do one-on-one with a client. It helps my other clients gain knowledge on maybe things they could communicate with me about through email. So one thing I've done is I had a really big group of peak weeks before Cleveland. I think we had like 10 people. And I said, why don't all 10 of us jump on a call and you can all listen to each other's questions? Because some people are going to ask things that you don't think of, and other people are, going to be more aggressive with questions. So that can be helpful too. It's just sometimes mass communication can be really good.
Yeah. Love that, man. No, I mean, it's all about communicating and just like going above and beyond somehow. But I want to switch gears too, Adam. So I want to talk more about just like mindset and just overcoming, self-limiting beliefs and false belief patterns when you first got started. So take yourself back in a time machine when you first got into being an entrepreneur and business owner. Which one of these were you struggling with most? The fear of getting started, the fear of failure, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, or a scarce money mindset? And how did you overcome this to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to take a leap of faith and just, start this business and start impacting lives?
I struggled with two things of that list. First was the fear of failure. Yep. I was always part-time personal training. I said jump off the cliff, so to speak. Guys, I quit at the right time, my full-time job. I quit around Christmas time, which was super scary. But then when New Year's hit, it was a really good time to quit. So I struggled with that for just a couple weeks. It wasn't too bad. But gosh darn, guys, imposter syndrome is freaking real for me. I would never imagine this would become what it is. I just hired coaches a couple years ago. They're thriving very well. To get a message from them and say, oh my God, we made more than we did our normal full-time job. It was just, wow, I never knew I would take it to this level. And that's kind of becoming another passion of mine. And off air, we were kind of talking about how I want to do that correctly, very slowly, bring on more coaches. But imposter syndrome is actually something that I just have a hard time believing that this became what it has become. I wake up every morning, I see the sunrise, and I'm thankful. And I look at the moon before I go to bed, and I'm thankful. And and at those times, it's just, this world is so big. I haven't even scratched quite the surface that I think I'm capable of, but the humbleness is still there. The imposter syndrome is so there. I think of people who are struggling financially when I think of the vastness of the world, and I hope they can find the love and joy of what I'm doing every day, even if it's not fitness coaching, making their own clothing line. Everyone deserves to be in the position I'm in. I truly am living my best life.
Yeah, man. Beautifully said, Adam. And just, man, like before I just, ask you the last question as to where people can connect with you, I just want to just take a moment and say thank you. Thank you for your time and, just to come on here and spread this wisdom, this knowledge, like, and everything you've done. I've followed like everything you've done. I know we've kind of been in the same kind of like little like group of like Dr. Joe and the Diet Doc and stuff too. So we go way back, and it's just been incredible to see your growth and what you've built and what you're going to do going forward, man. And just how humble you are and just everything you're doing. So, just want to say thank you and just, hope you just have all this continued success.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So where can the listeners connect with you and just, find out more of what you're doing?
Instagram's a great way. So if you just go to See You Later Leaner on my Instagram tag, you'll find me there and you can direct message me.
Awesome. We'll have that all linked up in the show notes. Guys, go follow Adam and see all the stuff he's doing. So once again, Adam, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks,
all right,
Adam.
guys, until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome and we have the lovely Astrid Naranjo. And how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be here, excited.
Yeah, likewise. And I know before we hit record, we were asking where you're from. And, we asked you if we should be doing this recording in Espanol, Spanish, but you said no. So we'll keep it to English.
Yes. Oh, my God. If I tell you my story, like I used to struggle with English and like speak with people like naturally. And now it's the opposite. Like I just can't speak Spanish. I just don't like it. I think when I started speaking Spanish, like it sounds weird. I started, especially when I see the recordings, like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. I prefer English.
Yeah, it's okay. We feel your pain. We know the struggle, but thank you so much for coming on to this Coach's Corner episode. I know you're going to deliver a lot of good stuff and just everything that you're doing is really inspiring. So let's kick this off. The first question I want to just go into is what is like your best form of a lead generation to get new clients that's been working really well for you?
For the most part, it's all the content I put out on Instagram, which basically is showing up every single day and putting a lot of relatable content, trying to translate some science to very simple layman terms that people can understand, utilizing perhaps analogies or things that are easier to understand a topic that might seem very complex or that is generally sometimes misunderstood. Or when I talk about the specific nutrition myths, or I tackle specific nutrition problems like PCOS or menstrual cycle that are a little bit of a taboo, or they just seem to be a little bit harder to understand or not very, very much spoken about, then I think that's where I kind of go deeper into, and I feel like I identify when I am talking about specific topics. I actually find that I wish I was told this before, that kind of information. So that's kind of the way I pretty much show myself up every day in different ways. And I'm pretty much trying to be real. I don't try to be someone else or posting. Actually, when I do my stories nowadays, I try to don't use filters or just try to be as me as possible. So people know that is someone behind the cameras that is trying to don't show someone who is not, and that's something that I try to always predicate on. It's just trying to be myself, and tell my story. My story from the very beginning was like I actually struggled to be on a camera. I hated to see myself in a camera and speaking. I was always super criticizing on myself and very tough on myself. And if it's not this way, I don't like it. And I never liked myself in a mirror or in like anywhere that I would speak publicly. And I just decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going just to show up. And maybe I'm just criticizing myself because I am too tough and too perfectionist, but people don't care about that. People just want to see your face. People want to learn, and they don't give a shit. So I don't know. I'm sorry for my language, but I think
I love it.
Just trying to put across a topic that seems very important is just being real and going for it without thinking too much about it or putting so much barriers to do something.
Yep.
So that's what I decided to do. And like, if it's not perfect, I don't care. I'm just going to show up, and I just won't see my recordings after, so I don't start criticizing myself anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome, because that's something we really like, teach heavily, like with our Dynamic Fit Pro students is, to share your story and be real, because people buy coaches, not coaching. So that's my next question is, like, obviously people are like wanting to work with you because you're keeping it real, you're keeping it authentic with your story. So what do you do differently, like with your clients, that nobody else, like a coach, can replicate? The reason why they stay with you,
I don't know other coaches because I've never been client of other coaches, or what they do. But what I know I try to do as much as possible is connect very deeply with my clients. And in fact, that is for me so important, like open communication, trying to be more than just like someone who tells you your macros, but actually listen to you, try to go through what is happening and trying to understand the whys of why you do certain things, especially when I work with clients. I pretty much work on like your relationship with food, your mindset, your behaviors, your habits, all the things that come about to tackle issues that on a day-to-day basis we are not very mindful about, like we mindlessly eat or we stress eat, emotionally eat. So those things sometimes are the major kind of the major barriers for people to achieve the nutrition goals. It's not that they don't know what they have to do, they know what to do, but it's an issue that is coming from emotions or behaviors that they don't realize they have. So it's trying to bring that up on the conversation and really make them understand that there's nothing wrong with them, there's nothing bad about it. And it's more trying to clarify or find strategies that will help the client. So it has been real, is creating that connection and that human connection that is not just about giving you macros and I don't care about you. I actually do a lot of follow-up with clients. Yep. I call it on a weekly basis, might just be random that I just send you a message. How you going? How you feeling? So it's kind of a way to troubleshoot straight away. If something is wrong or if something is good, then celebrate your wins. And that's kind of a way that I like to connect with them. So I feel that that's how I connect a lot with my clients. And I am trying to be more consistent with more regular calls. I just find sometimes so difficult with my time being a part-time clinical dietitian that I work in a hospital part-time. And on top of that, I create my own content. And on top of that, I do the coaching. So sometimes it's really hard to find, like with all the clients I have, an hour or half an hour of my day, especially that at least 80% of my clients are from the US. So it's either very early in the morning or very late in the afternoon, or trying to find maybe some time during the day that I'm not working in a hospital so I can dedicate some time for them. So this is a little bit of a challenge, but I'm trying to be more consistent with that, because the actual coaching calls are, I think they're so important to do that connection and listen to your client. And yeah, I think that's the way I connect the most with them. And maybe that's something that I do differently. I don't know what about other coaches, but that's how, and that's more personality. I think that's how I like to operate on a regular basis anyway.
Yeah, it's huge though. I mean, it's like you have to buy their trust and really break down those barriers and peel back layers. So I love it. So let's switch gears here, Astrid. I know, before maybe you've gotten into like, doing your own like business with coaching. A lot of us coaches always like have like what's called self-limiting beliefs or false belief patterns, right? It could be the fear of failure, fear of getting started, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, or a scarce money mindset. Or low confidence.
Yeah. So like what were you dealing with until you were like, nope, you know what? Fuck this. Like I'm going to just take it on and just start my own business and help impact lives.
All of the above.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. As I said before, when we started, mine has been like part of the imposter syndrome, especially coming to an evidence-based era where a lot of people are predicating on on papers and research, and like when you say something, you don't want to be wrong or say something that perhaps is not aligned with evidence or research. And that's what I have been known for. Like I'm trying to always make sure that everything I state or say has something to back it up, and like I'm not saying bullshit, or people are going to call me out because I'm not saying the right things or confusing people. So one of the things that I generally used to be very scared about is just to say something, and maybe I was doubting myself all the time, like do I know enough about this topic, or like just in interviews, or like in these stories in the Q&As that I do in Instagram. I used to be very self-doubting, and I wasn't always like, am I answering the question right? I'm like always trying to do that perfection and that self-doubt. And I think nowadays it's still there, but it's kind of that self-talk I had with myself, and I said, fuck it. I know what I'm saying. Whether people disagree with it, or maybe I don't say it in depth because it is only 15 seconds, then people will need to kind of ask why I said that, if that's the case. But I am just trying to be a little bit more, I don't know how to say it in English. I used to word in Spanish, antiparabólica. It's like, I don't know, like just go for it and don't careless, or like just whatever. I'm gonna do it. I won't care about. But in Spanish, is a very very good word to describe it. But I just don't know how to say it in English. But that's the way I kind of see it now. Is just trying to go for it. To try to don't doubt myself as much, because I am expert in my field. I've been studying since I was like, I have my bachelor's degree, and on top of that I have a master's degree, and I have practice and experience, and I feel like I do know my shit, but sometimes it's just like I just self-doubt myself a lot. And a lot of self-comparison as well. I used to like, oh, I'm not as good as that person, or maybe I'm not as confident as that person. I wish I had that little confidence that person has. But then I was thinking, probably this person has the same struggles, but they don't show it.
Yep.
We all like show something that we probably sometimes are trying to overcome. Like maybe I have insecurities, but I'm not showing that. So that's what I started reflecting on, and maybe I just need to just be more confident and believe in myself, because everyone is going to always have insecurities and self-doubt. Like even the person who is the most successful, they might be sometimes nervous or self-doubting themselves for what they speaking or they recommending to someone. So I think it's just a matter of being real and always understand that you're human, not perfect, and you might make mistakes along the way. But as same as you, other people are in the same journey, and so that's kind of relatable. And nowadays it's a little bit of a lesser taboo to talk about insecurities or like being real and personal struggles in like many different areas. So yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest part. And the other one, especially because I started my business pretty much in Spanish. I was quite successful back in Venezuela, and then when I moved to Australia, I have to start from zero, like zero. I had really, really bad insecurity with my English, because obviously I used to do everything in Spanish. I had a really good base on everything I was talking about was in Spanish. And then I moved to a country that no one speaks Spanish. It's not like in the US that at least a good 50% of the population will speak Spanish. Here it was not an option. So I had to either speak English and speak it well, or I will struggle a lot. So when I started my master's degree, I was the only international student that would speak, like, my original language was in English. The other students were basically native speakers. So for me, it was a really big challenge to do my presentations, my assignments, and try to seem confident when I was self-doubting myself all the time to don't mess up, or don't get stuck in a word because I was trying to find it. My English wasn't as fluid and like as nice and smooth. Like nowadays, I feel like it's going better. I think, but before it was like, I don't know. I had everything perfect laid out in my head, and when I was going to speak, oh my God, it was a disaster. So that was a very huge challenge for me. And the only way that it improved, I think, it was just doing it and doing it and doing it and repeating, and kind of confronting my fear by doing what I hated the most, which was speaking to people, speaking in front of a camera, even if I was self-doubting myself or not doing it right. Like, I'm just going to go for it. I don't care if people criticize me. People criticize you anyway, so whatever. I just go, I'll do what I have to do, and that's it. I know I can help people, so I'll just do what I can do.
Yeah. And that's so awesome, Astrid. Like you take imperfect action, and like you're a true inspiration, so it's been an awesome conversation with you. So thanks for being real. Thanks for being yourself. And thanks for sharing your story and your wisdom with us and the audience. So where can people connect with you and see all the cool stuff you're doing on social media?
So I have one, my main Instagram page, which is in English, is antidiet_dietitian. I do have one in Spanish, which is tucoach.nutricional, and that can be found in my bio in my main page. Otherwise, you can find me in YouTube, where I have put up a lot of really amazing interviews with a lot of great people in the fitness industry. So I'm always trying to put out information, educational content, and otherwise my website, astrid-dietitian.com. You can find me there as well. But Instagram is my main place where I am always available and putting things out.
Okay. Perfecto. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. So once again, Astrid, thank you so much for your time, everything on here. So guys, go follow her, see all the cool stuff she's doing, and she is a huge inspiration. Until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome Dustin Rhodes with us. Dustin, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking.
It's good to have you, man. I know we're not too far away from each other. You're in Fort Worth. We're over here in Frisco, about like 45 minutes to an hour. So I feel like we're just like right there.
That's not too far. It's kind of the DFW Metroplex is just kind of one big city, to be honest. And I'm sure you guys are from LA area. So It's sort of kind of the same concept. It's just a bunch of cities all in one. It's one big old area.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all good stuff though, man. So again, thanks for coming on. And I'm excited, man, just because like you've been doing some cool stuff for a long period of time, like much respect just with like your coaching platform, how many people you've helped. So I know you're going to give a lot of value within this. So let's kick this off. What has been the number one go-to marketing strategy to just consistently get leads of clients and really just impact their lives?
Well, as far as now or as far as, before, I feel like when my online business kind of took off in the beginning of 2015, getting clients then versus getting clients now is, to me, two different things. I mean, before it was so honestly a lot easier. I could literally just post anything on Instagram and have it, my caption start off with online coaching and then have what I kind of list as far as what it consists of. And boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Like that. But now you got more obviously coaches that do online coaching, more trainers, especially with COVID last year. A lot of people had to kind of transition to online coaching without really a choice. So it's a bigger field. But what I focus on more now, instead of just posting content on Instagram, is email campaigns through Constant Contact,
Okay.
client retaining, retaining new client or current old clients and continue to have them renew, and then referrals. I mean, referrals is kind of honestly the last year and a half have probably been where I've got most of my newer clients is just from referrals. Because I kind of stopped focusing on so much putting content on Instagram like I was back in 2015, 16, and 17, because I was doing more of informational type posts. And then I started to kind of get away from it because I felt like I was too much focused on social media and not my clients.
Gotcha.
So I felt like the value that I was giving to my clients wasn't up to par. So I kind of switched gears and stopped really focusing on putting just all this content on my Instagram or Facebook, and started focusing more on building value with my current clients, because to me, they're the ones that are going to talk about you. They're the ones that are going to be, again, walking billboards for you. And usually when they talk about you, especially females, we all know they love to talk to their girlfriends when they're feeling good and looking good. They'll tell everybody in the book about what they're doing. So I started focusing more on that to build value with the current clients, because I mean, they're who I'm working with, and that's who I needed to give my attention to. Because back, like I said, in 2015 and 16, there was at one point that I had over 200 clients.
Whew, man.
Wow.
But I tell you right now, the value wasn't there because it was too much for me to handle as myself. So basically, if you didn't check in, you just fell through the cracks. Kind of thing. Now I have a spreadsheet. I have all my clients. So when they check in, I check off the day they checked in. Highlight their name when I've sent their update. So I'm a little bit more aware of building the value in the report with the current clients, because like I said, they're the ones that are going to talk about you. So that's how I've been able to kind of maintain. I mean, since 2015. I did personal training up to 2014. And then, like I said, at the beginning of 2015, online business just kind of took off. And I've been blessed to be able to still be full-time online coaching. And that's what, pays the bills and more. But like I said, referrals and, email campaigning, marketing. That's how I've kind of been able to continue with my business up to date.
Yeah. And that's awesome, man. I mean, that's the luxury when you've been in the game for a little bit longer than like a newbie coming in, is like you can actually build like those email campaigns and get more referrals because of how many people you've worked with. So that's really cool. So I want to dig a little bit deeper though into what you said about giving your current clients like more value, because it's super important for them to pay, stay, and refer, right? So what do you do exactly? I mean, just like what makes you different and just a different client experience that no other coach can really replicate? This is why they come to you and they stay with you.
Again, building a rapport with them. People, a lot of times I'll have someone say, well, they've already paid you. Well, yeah, they've paid me, but what am I doing to keep them?
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, I don't focus on like 60-day challenges or 30-day challenges or anything like that. I focus on true nutrition coaching, which is, a lifestyle approach. So it's not just going to be a quick, 8-week or 16 weeks and boom, they're going to be at their ultimate, fitness goals. So, I've that value in building a rapport and, building a relationship with them, again, people are going to buy from people they like, and they're going to stick with you because they like you. They feel a connection with you. So that allows them to actually have that stick around, and they'll be a long-term client. I do understand not every client's going to stick with you forever. At some point, they're going to go on their own. But what I see in value is not just helping somebody within a 16-week or 24-week period lose some weight and then teach them how to maintain, but is seeing them 6 months down the road, for example, either continue to maintain their current physique because they've been able to get enough education and the knowledge that they need to be able to maintain, or continue on. Because I don't understand why there's, when you see somebody that worked with a coach for a certain period of time and then 6 months later, they look even 10 times worse. What was the point and what value did that coach even bring to that client?
Yeah, it's a great point.
So that's where I've switched my focus over the last year and a half as far as, trying to throw out a bunch of content on social media. I focus more on that, as like I said, through like using constant contact, with my email list that I have from past clients, current clients, and then anybody that's reached out to me and booked a consultation that just never signed up. Maybe they didn't feel it was a good connection at that time. Maybe they didn't. Maybe I didn't build enough value during the consultation, or whatever it may be. But being able to have that list and continue to throw out, information through there, that's been what I feel like has helped me be able to maintain at least consistent, business intake.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I love it. And then let's switch gears towards like more mindset and breaking past false limiting belief patterns. So, man, that these little things like haunt us all the time. And I want to go back when you first started, like 2014, 2015, going online, and you were like, I'm going to make a business out of this. Like, what were some of those false beliefs that really got you? Like, was it the fear of failure, fear of getting started, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, or a scarce money mindset? How did you break past all those?
Honestly, it was never like that for me. I started personal training at an LA Fitness here in Euless, Texas. We're not too far from Frisco. And then I can say it was about after a year being a trainer and eventually the training general manager, when I decided to split from them, I can say that would probably be my experience of, I guess you can say, taking that leap of faith, because I quit LA Fitness. Because I remember I met a guy that worked out there. He did in-home personal training, and he was telling me about his clientele, that he had certain clients paying him $5,000 a month. So I thought, wow, I could probably make more money doing in-home training, for example.
Yep.
So I remember June of 2009 is when I basically kind of took the leap of faith of quitting LA Fitness and literally just taking any people that I had, clients that I had built a report at that LA Fitness that I was working at. I eventually switched them over to doing in-home training, and then just kind of went from there, and again did private personal training up till end of 2014. I want to say probably somewhere around 2014, I started doing online coaching, but obviously most of my business, 99% of it was doing in-home training, because I even did coach CrossFit classes. At one point, 15 a week, 3 a day, and then in a one-on-one personal training sessions in between. But it was end of 2014, the private gym that I was at, it was a private studio basically that a buddy of mine that owned and ran. He decided December 14th of 2014, that was when their lease agreement was due to renew. Well, he decided not to renew. I guess the rent was too high for the location. And so it was Christmas time. And I remember telling the clients that I was working with one-on-one at that time that, hey, I was going to take basically a month break. I'm going to be going on vacation anyways. In January, once I get back, I'll be going and finding a new spot to do some training at. And at that time I was prepping for the Arnold Classic in Ohio.
Okay.
And I think I've done 27 shows to date. And I think that was my 12th show to prep for that time. In the previous shows, I had tracked my macros, but it was always more of, the clean eating approach, but still with macros. But when I got my acceptance letter to compete at this international event, when I got in competing in 2011, I had always wanted to compete or at least attend the Arnold Classic in the Olympia, because those are basically the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. So when I got the opportunity to actually compete at this event, I took it as, wow, the fact I get to go to this event finally and compete, I had no expectations. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this prep as a normal lifestyle prep, really truly stick to the, what a lot of people think is IFYM, is literally eat whatever you want as long as it fits your macros. So I was like, you know what, I have no expectations at this show. I'm just going to eat whatever. So I ate Chick-fil-A every morning for breakfast, at least 5 days a week, at least, obviously not 7, but most of the time 5 to 6 days. So of course, people were seeing my progress, me eating this type of food. And then 6 weeks into the show, or to the show, I actually started to reverse diet into the show. So people saw me diet down the first 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 6 weeks, I actually got a chance to reverse back into diet into the show. So obviously my calories went from like around 2,300 at the lowest to about 38 to 4,000. So obviously I was eating more so-called unhealthy foods, non-traditional prep foods that most people were used to eating during a contest prep phase. So it brought a lot of attention. And before you know it, I probably was from the end of January of 2015 till March of 2015, I signed up at least $1,000 or more in new clientele in business. So, I mean, I made like $50,000 in that period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, immediately I was like, well, why do I need to go back to doing personal training? I don't need to go wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. anymore.
Yeah.
I can go to bed when I want. I can, wake up when I want. So that's kind of where the online just took off. I mean, and I did, in that year, I ended up doing, like I said, and at that show in the Arnold Classic, I ended up taking 5th place.
Okay.
So people were like, wow, this natural athlete goes to an international event, literally, follows a flexible dieting approach, not your traditional bodybuilding contest prep diet. And he actually takes 5th place. So immediately, again, that just, like I said, it just attracted so many new people via Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing like 7 more shows that year, 8 shows total. I earned my natural pro card that year of June. So it just, like I said, that year was obviously my best year as far as like financial wise. I think I made almost $2,000, or not 2,000, almost $200,000 that year. I think it was like 198 and some change to be exact. So I was able to build, like I said, a huge clientele base that year that sort of, like I said, has continued to carry me, and keep me going as a float.
Yeah.
So like I said, it wasn't something that I was like, just jump from personal training to online coaching. It was just something that just was just handed to me in a way.
Yeah. But that's an awesome story, man. It's just like, it was like a huge snowball effect. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, document what you're doing. You just never know what happens. So that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. So Dustin, this has been great, man. Thank you again for your time. Just everything that you're doing, man. Honestly, we've known each other for a while. I know we connected a long time ago at the Arnold Classic. I can't remember what year it was.
It was the LA Fit Expo.
Yeah. One of those. And
it was at the LA Fit Expo with Marciano? Yeah, I was with him.
Yeah,
and another guy named Ray he had a booth out there show. But that's when we actually got a chance to meet.
Yeah. But ever since then, man, we've connected and just stayed in touch. I've seen all the cool stuff you're doing. So I mean, keep it up, man. You're doing a lot of good stuff and impacting lives. So where can the listeners find out more of what you're doing and connect with you?
You can check me on my website at www.macroscoach.com, or you can check me out on Instagram at macroscoach. Or you can check me out on Facebook at Macros Coach. Those are the 3 options that I use for social media and obviously website as well.
Okay, awesome, man. Perfect, man. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. Guys, go follow Dustin, see what he's doing. So once again, man, thank you so much for your time.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
All right, guys, until next time.
I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, dude, come on. I was literally watching this video, watching this interview, and you literally just pop up on the screen and interrupt it. Trust me, there's a good reason for this. Just hold on, and I'm gonna let you get back to that interview or that video. Trust me, all right? So the reason why I stopped you on this is because we're giving away our book 100% free. Okay, so if you're a frustrated fitness professional, you're not growing fast enough, you're looking to future-proof and recession-proof your business by adding online training, or if you're doing online training, you want to scale and grow faster, all you have to do is check out our new book. We're giving the audio away, we're giving the PDF away. So all you have to do is click the link below in the description box and get your free copy. All right, so now back to the video.
All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome and we have the lovely Eden Bobu. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. I right before we hit record, I said I don't want to butcher your last name because I've never heard that name. So, whew.
Are you like sweating? Did it like make you a little nervous?
It always makes me nervous because I don't like butchering people's last names for some reason.
His forehead's a little shinier than mine right now.
Yeah. So I always ask him. It's like I'm so focused when I introduce like your name and stuff. So I'm glad I was able to do that. But
good job. You did it.
Yeah. Other than that, how you doing though today?
I'm pretty good. How are y'all?
We're doing good. We've just been doing some more interviews for this whole segment and stuff. So it's been a busy week, but it starts slowing down towards the end of the week. So we're kind of seeing like, a little bit more just kind of just chill moments.
Nice. It's just rain here in Houston. Like it's just been the nastiest week ever.
I know, well, we're in Dallas and it's not much better.
Really? I was
Yeah.
thinking I had maybe some sunshine over there.
It is and stuff, but it's like, then the rain will come. There's any moment. I'm like, what the hell? It's so bipolar.
Like you cannot pay attention to the radar. It'll be
Yeah,
90% chance of rain. There will not be a drop anywhere in sight. It's like 15% chance and it's a typhoon outside.
Exactly. You can't plan for anything out here, but
So,
it's all good. You know, it could be worse. But Eden, thank you again for coming on and for your time and stuff. So I'm excited because I know you have a lot of like good wisdom. Like I love everything you're doing and stuff. And that's why people are going to connect with you more and follow you on social media. But let's kick this off. So what has been like your number one go-to like lead generation / marketing just strategy to get your clients?
honestly, it's just been through social, just being myself and showing that there's other aspects to my life than fitness for people to grasp onto and relate to, because anybody can just post fitness all the time, but they're like, what else is to their life?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I show that I have a kid. My life is crazy sometimes and I still make it work. So I think that's my biggest thing. And then I get a lot of leads in the gym, like just leading by example. If you're not putting in the work people aren't seeing you do that, you're not going to get as much traction, I feel like. So I really just work hard in the gym, and I think people latch on to that. And I try to be a friendly face and talk to people. If people have questions, just give out, little free advice, helpful like tips here and there. And I think that's been by far my biggest top two things.
Yeah. And it sounds simple, but it's just like, it works, and just even the fact that like you're a walking billboard, number one, that's huge. And just, showing up just on social and being yourself and showing like a little bit more about the behind the scenes to get people to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like people, like I said, people have to feel like they can connect to you in some kind of way, that you're not just a fitness person, a fitness model, a competitor, all that. You've got to have more substance for people to grab onto.
Yeah. And I think that's cool that you're getting clients like at your like local gym, because it's like a misconception just because like you're an online coach that you have to get them like all over social media. And then like, that's what we teach in our program. It's like, no, it's called hustling outside of social media. Like you do remember you have a 5 to 10 mile radius of where you live, where your gym's at, and there's plenty of online clients there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I've had a pretty good reach within my club. I'm a trainer for Lifetime. So I've been at my club since they opened. And so people have seen me go through competing and my body changing and things like that. And just being friendly to people, going a little bit out of your way to make a connection with somebody goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So the next thing I want to ask too is like, we're very big on just like client experience, customer service, right? Just really wowing like your customers, right? Or your clients. So what do you do differently to where it's like, it can't be replicated? That's why people like come to you. That's why they pay, they stay, and they refer.
I'm very open with my experiences, my errors, the trial and error, my mistakes and things like that. And really offering advice through that, sharing my experiences, making people think that you care and that you're invested in them and they're not just another client on your team or in your program. Just when they ask you a question, answer it to the best of your abilities, and giving out free knowledge here and there goes a long way.
Yeah. It's like, you have to build that relationship and just like build that trust and just, it's layers of just breaking down barriers with them.
Well, the more people trust you, the more they're going to share. Oh my gosh, my coach really goes out of her way. She shared this with me, and then word of mouth starts circulating, and it makes a big impact.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always,
and I want all my clients to know that I care and I'm invested in them.
Exactly. And so it's funny because like people are always looking for like these crazy hacks. And I'm like, no, just give a shit. Just, show that you care and that you're taking a general interest. And it's like, I promise you, like, you'll do pretty good.
Yeah. And two, just don't slough them off. Just don't be an ass, even if it's a out of whack question. Don't be an ass. Just answer it the best that you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing a great job too. Cause like what you said is like, what's buying the relatability is like, you do have a kid and like, you're very busy, and it's like, you have those normal type of like, day-to-day type of like, struggles that anybody else does. And those are probably your clients, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Eden, let's shift over to more of like mindset, breaking past self-limiting beliefs. We're big on this. So, the common self-limiting beliefs are just usually fear of getting started, fear of failure, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome, and like having a scarce money mindset. So before you were like, you know what, I can do this, I can take on clients and make a business out of it. Like which one of those was really anchoring you down and how did you overcome it?
Just fear that, because there are so many great coaches out there with so much knowledge. It was like, well, how can I be, why would they want to listen to me? Why would, that was my biggest fear, is putting myself in such a large pond that can I do this to compare to other coaches and things like that. But the truth is we all have our own niche. We all have our own experiences, our own talents and things like that. So that was my biggest thing getting over once to get started and jump in. Yeah. So it was like, just like kind of like combo of like imposter syndrome and comparison. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And you hit that like right. You're right. What you said is just, it's so true. It's like, we all have our unique like talents, our gifts. I always say we have our own stories. And again, people are buying people, right? I always say people buy coaches, not coaching. So it's like, there's a reason why they want to work with you. You have something special. Yeah. Yeah. And so I feel like all that just throws in together. Exactly. Yeah. And is there any like current limiting beliefs right now that you're dealing with? So it's still a little bit of the same thing. As I get deeper and I get bigger and my platform is really getting bigger and I'm immersing more into Lifetime and moving up within their coaching. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a little intimidating, so that is still my biggest, it's a lot better, obviously, but as I start moving up, it's still, there. Yeah, that's something we tell our students. It's just like, it's reps and sets, just like in the gym, right? Just volume. It's just, it's the same thing with those confidence muscles, just reps and sets. Absolutely. Yeah. I always got to pep talk Chris here because he's always like just complaining to me. Big bro love. I'm just totally messing around, but no, I think you're doing great, Eden. So yeah, once again, thank you again for your time and just sharing everything. To the audience. I know they're going to get a lot out of this. So where can the listeners connect with you and see all the cool stuff you're doing? So I'm on Instagram, EdenB_fit. That's my main platform. And then from there, that's where all my coaching can be seen and all that. Okay, sweet. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. So guys, go check out Eden, see what she's doing. And then once again, thank you again for, joining us and just everything today. Thanks. Yeah, Eden. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You're very welcome. All right, guys, until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome Hannah Dawson in the house. Hannah, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're a little bit jealous that you have like a home gym in your basement.
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
Absolutely. If those that are watching the YouTube version of this, you'll see the background. She has a pretty cool setup, it looks like. So yeah, that's a way to recession and future-proof your business.
Yeah.
Well, cool, Hannah. Thanks so much for your time. And I'm looking forward to having you on this Coach's Corner segment, just because I know you're doing a lot of cool things. You've helped a lot of people. You're very experienced. You have a lot of wisdom. So let's jump into this. What has been like the go-to like marketing strategy and lead generation tactic that's been working with you to serve so many clients and create so much impact?
Great question. It's changed a little bit, but one thing has been obviously running challenges. I started when COVID kind of hit and just like running challenges. And that was kind of my biggest marketing strategy. And then in the last 4 months, I actually had a lot of women with like year transformations, like 60, 50-pound transformations. And so I actually brought them on as affiliates and ambassadors for my platform called the Fit Club. So I have a platform that is a membership based. I used to be an in-person personal trainer, and I slowly was building an online platform where members could do a subscription and have their workouts and their meal plans. And instead of being individualized, everything is kind of, I could serve more people at once. And so I brought on ambassadors, and that's kind of been the hugest thing. Stories sell. And if you can have, those people that have been with you and clients and members that have been with you, share their story, and you know, kind of give them some compensation for their, you know, sharing and stuff. That has really like, that kind of exploded my business, and like just really building a team, I guess, like really, you know, it's kind of been, you know, we have the members, but we also, some of those members are now a part of Hannah Dawson Fitness and represent. So that has been the hugest thing. I think it's organic too. So that's where I've seen my most growth.
Yeah. And that's super interesting how like you saw this concept and you were like, okay, I'll have my clients do like an ambassador type, affiliate type of approach. And we're big on like the affiliate, you know, side of things too, but it just sounds like that just like kind of just exploded and like they were raving like fans and supporters of you to do that.
Yeah. It's been really good. And I think, you know, the biggest thing that I have learned through this whole process as a personal trainer, as a business owner, is just like, you know, in your own body, there's no, you know, quick weight loss or quick muscle gain schemes. Like it just doesn't work like that. And same with your business. There's no get rich quick scheme. You really have to do the foundational work. And the biggest ingredient for success is being consistent, right? Knowing that you're going to fluctuate with clients, members, your business, with even your body. And I think just being patient and consistent and just showing up, I think has been the hugest thing, just showing up no matter what it looks like. Right. So
yeah, Hannah, that's a mic drop.
Yeah.
Now I was going to ask too, like on your challenges, right? That's something that we're heavily big on in our program is a 7-day challenge system. Is your challenge short? Or is it like a longer term one?
So it just depends. We just did a 30-day. So I have like different programs in my fit club. So we just did Shred 2.0. That was a 4-week challenge, but we ran it again. So usually my challenges are anywhere from, they're about 8 weeks, 30 days, 8 weeks. So there's like 2 options, different programs. So yeah, they're about that long.
Nice. No, that's really cool. So kind of talking about like some of these programs that you have, right? And then all the clients that you're making impact and serving. So one thing I'm really big on when I was a coach and with my students too, is you got to give your clients an extraordinary and exceptional like client experience, right? So what do you do different that just can't be replicated by any other coach? Like that's why they come to Hannah. That's why they stay. That's why they pay. That's why they refer.
Yeah. I think, you know, I'm a huge coach that is very actively involved with my members. I don't just sell programs and a challenge and say, see ya. It's like, you know, I'm very involved. I get them to do bi-weekly check-ins with me. I really do treat them just like I would if I had an individual one-on-one client, because again, it's not a quick fix. And when it comes to nutrition and training, I have to like instill that in them in the beginning. So just really providing support, doing their check-ins, and like every single week. So we have a Facebook community. And so every Friday at noon, they know I'm in there. We're doing mindset coaching. So it could be something that I'm hearing come up a lot, or, you know, with women especially, it can be, you know, not a quick enough weight loss, or their relationship with bad and good food. And so have to break through myths. And so I think just giving them the tools to create a lifestyle, to learn that, you know, you have the power to rewrite that story that's playing in your head. We just have to learn how to switch your thinking. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but that's where I tackle is the mindset. So that's kind of where I think I'm different than everybody else, is because, you know, I'm mindset first. It doesn't matter if it's nutrition or fitness. Mindset has to be your foundation, or the tools lead to addictions, distortions, dysmorphia, right? So
yeah, absolutely. That answers it 100%, because like you just talked about it, you're very high touch and very involved with your clients. And then the mindset comes first. It's funny. We call ours mind growth, because like we always look at mindset like it's set in stone, but we're always constantly growing our mind. But we're the same way, you know, start with mind growth and then everything else will follow.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to always say like build the 6-pack in the mind first and then work on like the aesthetics and stuff like that. So I love how you're doing that. So yeah, let's transition a little bit into this mindset stuff. So we like talking about like breaking past false limiting beliefs and false belief patterns. So the common ones that most like entrepreneurs face are, fear of failure, fear of getting started, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome, and then a scarce money mindset. So before you had all this success and you wanted to be an entrepreneur and start your own business, like which one of these did you really have trouble with? And then how did you overcome that?
Great question. And I think to be honest, each one of those I've kind of struggled with a bit, but the biggest one for me was comparison, right? Because I had this dream, of helping all these women. And so, social media, a famous fitness person will pop up and you're just like, you get this, like, I'm not there yet. And it can really just totally discourage you. But I think, that's been the biggest thing is comparison. And I still have to be very careful. But again, I brought it back to my mindset and reframing the way that I think about it. So personally, I work on my mindset every day, and just really making sure that, instead of like comparing myself now, I'm like, well, if they did it, I can do it. It's just like your body, if you see this person with an amazing body, it doesn't mean that's not achievable for you. You're just not seeing the hard step works that they did to get there. So same with the business too, right? Just knowing that you are what makes you different and you have to embrace that. And once you embrace that, then the other stuff is just fire that ignites you to propel you to move forward.
Exactly. So it's like basically don't compare your journey, which is like maybe chapter 1 to somebody else's 10-year chapter 10 journey, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think too, something that, and I'm still learning this day is like, you never really feel like you've made it, right? Like you always think once you get to this level, like that will be amazing. But then once you're there, you don't even recognize it almost. And you're like, well, now I want to be here. So I think too, another thing is enjoying, like learning to recognize how far you've come. And
100%. It's all about just the journey. It's like every level will bring a new devil. I truly believe that. So it's like,
I love that.
Constantly battling, but that's awesome, Hannah. So I really love the approach with that. So thank you again, just for your time on this, this segment. I really appreciate that. So where can the listeners connect more with you and just see everything that you're doing?
I have my website, which is Hannah Dawson HannahDawson.ca. And then Instagram is where I am mostly. So that's Hannah Dawson Fitness at Instagram. And I do have a YouTube channel, and that's Hannah Dawson.
Okay, cool. We'll have all those things linked up in the show notes. But once again, Hannah, thank you again for your time, like the wisdom. I know the listeners are going to get something out of this. So I really appreciate you and keep up the great work.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. So it was a pleasure.
You're very welcome. All right, guys, until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have an awesome guest with us, and that is Peter Fitschen. Peter, how you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I know we were catching up a little bit before we hit record and stuff. So it sounds like everything's going well. And I'm excited to have you on this Coach's Corner roundup, just because I know you have a ton of experience and you work with like a lot of competitors. So this will be a cool dynamic.
Yeah, for sure. So a vast majority of my clients at this point either compete or want to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dig into it. What has been your best lead generation strategy to just get ongoing clients?
So I don't have anything fancy. My entire business was built by word of mouth. So, I prepped the first time I prepped someone was one of my friends who I was my training partner that I did a show with back in 2008. And then I helped a few people I knew over the years. And then by 2012, I started my business during grad school and did that part-time. And then by the time I was done with grad school in 2015, it had grown to where it was a full-time job, and I've been coaching full-time since 2015. So I don't have anything fancy. I think the biggest thing was, getting clients results, helping clients treat them the way you'd want to be treated as a client. I've had people who were completely inconsistent working with me and not make any progress, refer me people. So that nice. to me, that's a sign I'm probably doing something right, that, even though I might not have been the right coach or, it might not have been the right time for them, they saw, something in me or my coaching. So, I think that's the biggest thing is if you treat your clients well, you get them results, they're going to tell other people. I have someone compete, they do well, usually their friends, someone from their gym, whatever, is reaching out to me. Well, what did they do that they did so well? And so, if you help the clients you have, it's only going to grow from there.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. And just, it reminds me too of, we had Cliff Wilson on in one of these, and he said the same thing. And it's just, it actually just made me think about like an acronym that we teach in our program to our Fit Pro students. And it's BRR. So you want, your customers to buy, you want them to repeat, and then you want them to refer. So sounds like you're doing it, man. And just, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. And I think the biggest thing then is just like for me, where I am currently, having done this for 6 years full time now, is, just continuing to give all of my clients that same service so that they continue to refer me more people. And as I lose a client, I gain a client, and, my client numbers stay up.
Yeah. So let's segue into that question, because that's what I was going to talk about, was kind of like client retention, right? So that's what we were big on when we coached fitness, our clients, was just like a world-class experience, right? That's what we teach our fitness professional students too. So what do you do like maybe differently, or something that just gets them to stick and just like retain with you?
Yeah. So this is probably funny also. I don't do a lot of fancy stuff with my coaching. I don't have fancy like computer, like software or apps or anything like that. I don't even really do many. I mean, I do an initial call with clients when we get started, but from there, most of our communications via email. But the biggest thing is everything's funneled that way. But then my response to them is quick. If people are sending updates when they're scheduled to send them, I am ready for them. The response comes quickly. So it's kind of understood on their end, like it needs to come in whatever day in the morning, and I will be here ready for it, and I will get back to you quickly. Getting back to people when they ask questions. I think that's one of the biggest things I hear from clients who worked with another coach and then they come to work with me is, well, my coach didn't, I'm like a week out from a show and my coach didn't get back to me for 2 days. You can't be doing that at a week out from a show. If someone's got a question a week out from a show, you should try to get back to them within a few hours if you can, and so I think just realizing that, that I think that part of it's probably what's so huge in retention and referrals and stuff is just the fact that I do get back to people quickly. And, I give more than one word answers. And, I think that's part of the reason I like using email also is, I can look at the data, I can think what I want to say, type it. There might be times where I start typing something, I do a couple others, and then I come back to it. It lets me really think out what I want to say and get back to people. But yeah, I'm getting back to people fairly quickly. And I think, like I said, that's one of the biggest complaints I hear, people make about previous coaches when they start working with me is just response times, being 2, 3, 4 days, and they're a week or two out from a show. And so I think, I can't believe how common that is, but, I think just being there for your clients and getting back to them is probably the biggest thing, you can do. I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy. Some people use apps and fancier stuff and more technology than I do. I don't, but it doesn't matter, right? As long as you're getting back to them and they're able to communicate with you and know what they're doing and they're able to ask you questions and you give them answers. I mean, I really think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, this is great because that's a question we get all the time, what software do I need to do? Or what do I have to do with all this and that? And the people get too fancy and it's just overwhelming. So it's what you're doing is just very simplistic. And it's just really that client experience of just getting back to them in a timely manner and just getting them results and all the basic fundamental things,
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. I mean, say what technology I use, Gmail, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PayPal. And, that's I guess I have a website too, but I have a guy who made that. I'm not good enough at technology to do that, but that's about the extent of it for me.
It's working, man. So that's what I'm saying. Don't fix it until it's broken. Yeah. So let's shift gears, Peter. So we're big on just breaking past self-limiting beliefs and false belief patterns. Usually the common ones that we hear, just from Fit Pros when they're getting started going online or building a business, is the fear of getting started, the fear of failure, comparison syndrome, a scarce money mindset. And the next one is, which one am I missing on there?
Fear of getting started,
fear of failure, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome. That's a huge one. So which one of those, did you really battle with before just saying, saying, you know what, I'm going to go all in, start this business and just really impact lives?
Yeah, I mean, my concern was always, I always felt like I didn't know enough, which is, looking back is crazy because, even, I didn't start, when I incorporated my business, I already had a bachelor's degree. I had a master's degree. I had a CSCS. I was like almost halfway through my PhD. I had won a pro card. I had dieted down for shows 4 times, done 7 shows, been training I've been lifting myself for well over a decade. And I still didn't feel like I knew enough. Like I felt like, do I really know enough to charge someone to, to help them? Can I really actually help them? And, there were bumps in the road early on, but I mean, what I found fairly early on is I still knew more than most people I was helping. And then over time, I learned more, gained more experience and ironed out some of the kinks. But, early on, I wasn't working with really any like natural pros or world champions. Most of my clients were people who either were dieting for their first show or, earlier on, I had more general population too, just people looking to lose weight.
Yep.
And so, I remember the first time I worked with someone who was I had someone who was a natural pro inquire with me, who it wasn't someone where I prepped them for the show where they won their pro card. Like they inquired with me and I was like, oh my God, I can't screw this up. Like this person, like, and now I've worked, over the years, worked with a number of different high level competitors, but yeah, early on I was like, I was always, there's a lot of self-doubt and like wondering if I knew enough to help people. Definitely. Would probably be my biggest one.
Yeah. And that's awesome. It just sounds like it's just kind of just the reps and sets that you just put in working with people and just like, getting them results and taking care of them. Right.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think the key thing to keep in mind too, is I wasn't charging an arm and a leg at first. A lot of the first people I worked with, I knew, from 2008 to 2012, when we started my business, most of those people were just family friend, people I knew. Right. And so people from the gym, whatever, kind of for little or nothing. I didn't charge much. And, it kind of grew from there. Right. And I started working with people I didn't know, but I still wasn't charging them much. And these weren't world champions. And, you know what I mean? Like and so like over time, like, yeah, my rates went up as my experience went up and, my clients got results and, I got better and better, higher and higher level clients coming to me as, I got more experienced and clients got more results, but it doesn't start that way. You start with whoever you're working with for cheap or free and kind of build experience and work up from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Man, well, this has been great, Peter. I really appreciate your time and just your wisdom on this. I know this is going to help impact, somebody that's out there just with that same struggle, like the self-doubt that you had. So before I let you go, where can the listeners, just connect with you and see all the cool stuff that you're doing?
Yeah. So, you can find me, my website's fitbodyphysique.com. I'm on Instagram at fitbodyphysique. I guess I'm on Facebook as myself. And then if you want to email me, my email is fitbodyphysique@gmail.com. So, any of those would probably be the best places to find me.
Awesome. Well, guys, go follow Peter and see what he's doing. He's very experienced. He's doing some cool stuff. And other than that, Peter, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Now, you got to admit, that episode was absolute fire. I don't know if that's fire. It was fire. It was really good. So comment below what your favorite one was, your biggest takeaway. And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to click this video right here and check out another Coach's Corner episode. It's just jam-packed with value to only help you grow faster and accelerate the learning curve. So check that out. And again, post your biggest lesson learned from this one, and we'll see you in the next episode.